Sweet 16. Okay, let's go, word. Let's go, handsome. Sushi. Sushi. Boogie Joshi Neto Tam Rirab Lingshi Ninde Kempali Sangye Shindu Ite Uwagi Doku Namda Shila Chepasho Idam Guru Rat Dala Kamneya Dayami Chodan Sogi Chonamna Chanchu Badu Tatni Kapsuji Dagi Chenye Kipe Sanamki Dola Penshu Sangye Dubasho Chodan Sogi Chonam Chanchu Badu Tatni Kapsuji Dagi Chenye Ipe Sanamki Dola Penche Sangye Dubasho Chodan Sogi Chonama Chanchu Badu Tatni Kapsuji Dagi Chenye Ipe Sanamki Dola Penche Sangye Dubasho Boogity doogity. There's the backup for, our progress. But the bottom line is September 2025. Okay. A lot of assumptions like we will speed up. Yeah, okay. Okay, go.
Dirnyam shak sakme ki tsenyin I tet sakme konar njukpe tulchik tang yang tekmen yang shak ki tsechuki daknzen ki sakwa tang chepa tang tekmengi tei tet sakme konar njukpe tulte Lukni kanjel le sumpa namla ship tut chepa jao.
Okay, cool. Let me check something. This is kind of a wrap up on the idea of how, what happens to your nyunyi, the messed up part of your mind. And I think for me, it's been a big breakthrough to appreciate the negative part of your mind, which is number 7, as observing kunshi, alaya vijnana number 8, and misunderstanding it. That's been a big breakthrough for me personally. The reason there's 2 extra states of mind in the mind-only school is that, there's the 6 normal consciousnesses, and then there's a number 7, which is the messed up state of mind, and then it's observing number 8, which is where all the seeds are opening, and it doesn't understand it. It thinks the blue is outside, for example. For me, that was like, the, what do you call it? Epiphany of the mind-only school. I'm like, wow, I can use that, I can use that on my own brain. Okay. So here we're talking about what happens to Nyinyi during Nyamjak Sakme, which means what?
During that, when you become impure. Or like
this is talking about
meditation.
deep meditations where you are in a good state. Sakme, no impurities. So Stanley's text, we just got through Sakpas in his text. It was called Tapche, the conflict. And, we just had all the Sakpas. So it's really an Abhidharma term. But here, what happens to your messed up state of your mind when you're in a deep, good meditation, okay? Without, they'd say at that time, Nyunyi de, the messed up consciousness, Sabme Konar Juk, it engages only in
It only engages in
in purity. Yeah. Okay. So that's one way of explaining it. Soul chick. Okay, that's one way of explaining it. We're going to have different souls here. Different people are going to explain it different ways. We're having trouble with what happens to the messed up part of your mind as you advance, as you make progress. Well, so what happens? And the discussion was, when you take the tumor out, do you destroy the brain? Okay, can you remove consciousness 7 and then you reach nirvana or something like that? Or if you're deep in the perception of emptiness, what's Nyunyi doing right then? Because you're seeing 8 correctly. Okay, so what happens to number 7? It's just like frozen, or what goes on? So one position is that the bad part of your mind learns to see good things. Okay, that's one position. Yang, you can also divide it. When that nyamshak is tikman, yeah, when you're seeing a lower version of emptiness, okay, say, chuki danzinki sapa dan chepa, you still have the impurities caused by holding to things, yeah, as self-existent, okay? But when that same meditation is taken, which means focused on higher versions of emptiness, right? They'd say, Same konar juk, then the Nyunyi only engages in purity, in pure things, okay? Okay? These two systems, so what are the two systems? One, just in general, when you're in a good meditation, the Nyunyi, the negative part of your mind, is tasting nice things. Then somebody else says, no. You have to divide it. Are you focusing on a higher emptiness or a lower emptiness? If you're focusing on a higher emptiness, yeah, it's tasting good things. But if you're focusing on a lower emptiness, it's still got impurities as far as holding to things as self-existent. Okay? Look ni kandel le sung. These two systems are described in the, which is Tsongkhapa's root text, root text alchemy. And le sung banamla ship the chepa chao. This is the imperative cha.
These things need to be discussed in great
Yeah,
detail.
you should look into these deeply. Thanks. Usually that means I'm not going to help you. Thank you. Thanks for nothing. Yeah. But I think it's clear. I think we did okay with that. Okay. All right. Now, totally different subject. Okay. Please read.
Mi pala ni lung rikla tenne lung dir kunshi tham nyuni yupar shik kupar tampa tam yuche nyoso.
Okay, good. This nipa was way back, and I went back and got it for you. It's way back towards the beginning of the text. Anyway, he's gonna, having given the definitions of Kunshi and Nyunyi, now he's gonna go to Drupa Chepas, which means traditional proofs for 7 and 8. Okay, traditional proofs for 7 and 8. Okay, and the whole thing we've done so far was just defining what is the refrigerator, what is the negative state of mind that looks at the refrigerator, and now we're going to have scriptural proofs for the existence of Alaya Vijnana. I didn't make this up. Buddha mentioned it. Okay, so we're going to get those. And there's two kinds of proofs we're going to get, which are, yeah, scripture and logic. Okay. And then he says lung dir. He's prevaricating, equivocating. Lung dir. Lung dir nyunyi ye. Lung dir kunshi ye.
Right here in this scripture.
Yeah, in this system, he threw that in. Okay? Dampa means advices like kadampa. Advices of why you gotta understand that these two states of mind exist in this system. In this system. Okay, he adds that. Okay, got it? So that's very important to translate that correctly. So first he's gonna, Dampa means he's gonna, Tsongkhapa's gonna say, you know, you really should appreciate why in this system they think those two states of mind exist. You should dig into it. You shouldn't just be lazy and say, okay, they believe that. You should think about it. And then you should go study the proofs they say that are there in scripture. You should you should go study theirs. means then let's move to the actual proofs taken out of scriptures stated by Lord Buddha. Okay, so A, you should be curious to know why they think what they think. B, you should actually know the quotations they use. Okay, got it? All right then. Yeah, by the way, this was the translation from Word's text. Arguments for their existence. We're here. Okay. Read, please. This is the next verse of Tsongkhapa.
Yi che long tang rekpa yi
Yi,
yi nam shi juk le ta de pe yi tang kun shi nam par she yuk par kung tu chupar ja.
yeah, oftentimes we cannot translate his verses until we read the commentary. But this is easy. This one's pretty easy. So, Yi Che.
These divisions of mind.
Yeah, sure.
So, cherishing?
That's Chepa. Chensin.
Belief.
Che. Yeah, Yi Che means believable, authoritative. What credible. Credible, Yi Che. Yi Che means to believe, have faith in. So we want Lung, which is Yi Che, and we want Rigpa, which is Yi Che. Okay, authentic, scriptural references and proofs. We are going to Chipacha, Kong du Chit.
Understand.
Good, perfect. Difficult idiom. We are going to understand. You should understand
Exist.
through credible scripture and logic that there do exist these two states of mind which are tadepa from the truth.
Separate from the six.
Yeah, which are separate from the six. There are two additional consciousnesses which are separate from the six. You should understand through scriptural authority and through logic. You must. So kondachu, you got to come up with a nice English verb that's more formal and more comprehensive than understand. You know, almost comprehend or come to a comprehension or, you know. Okay. What's this yi?
Nyunyi.
Nyunyi. Yeah, it's irritating that in his whole text, Tsongkhapa calls messed up state of mind, mind. Okay, so it's really an abbreviation for Nyunyi, which means messed up state of mind. But it's irritating that even in the title of his book, he calls it the mind. Maybe it means we're always messed up. I don't know.
What has it been our policy to just like follow his lead and just call it mind?
That's up to the translator.
No, not at all. We haven't done that at all.
Don't do it.
It's up to the translator, but you got to be consistent. That's my only request.
I mean, if we footnote it initially and then be consistent, I could see that.
Yeah. It's gonna hurt people who open up the book in the bookstore in the middle.
Should I do a mouth?
Yeah, yeah.
Your mind just messed up.
Or you could say something like, Tsongkhapa, the footnote could be like, Tsongkhapa just says ye, even though we're translating ye as.
Yeah, right, yeah, you footnote the other
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, I agree.
Okay, here's the commentary to his verse.
장군이 랑쉣 공죄서 이체 배 롱탕 쟁결 기릭바
Nice prenasal, sexy prenasal.
기에서 트라쉽기 릭바 이 남시 속드로플레 ngô 타데페 능이 탕군시 남파셰파 룽기 진장 기 남릭베 감디엘
Nice, come dear. Whew, you're hot today.
유발 공두 추발 자오.
Okay, the bold is root text. Okay, the bold is root text. What's tumble mean?
Firstly,
About what?
First lung.
Yeah, here's my scripture. Sorry, no, it's not. Actually, it's
Langshek. It's Langparshek. It's the journey to Lanka.
no. We're actually this dumbo means the advice that you should go check it out.
Oh really?
Yeah, it's this dumbo right here. It's dumbo.
Oh okay.
Okay. So here's the one where Tsongkhapa is going to say, "Look, you should go check things out. Why does the mind-only school believe what they believe? You should be curious." Okay. Dumbo ni langshik.
Journey to Lanka.
Yeah, journey to Lanka. Gongdao. What's Gongdao?
what I really meant.
Yeah, that's the Sandin Nirmochana Sutra. Yuan says, the one that Yuan says commented, etc. These are Yuchepe Long.
Those are believable lungs.
Reliable,
Yeah, and
authoritative.
I'm also gonna Rikpege Cheng Gyur. I'm
Use
gonna
logic later to explain this.
no, I'm gonna explain. I am going to explain later the Rikpege, the 8 classical proofs
Eight proofs.
for these 2 states of consciousness. So first, we're gonna get quotations from sutra like Journey to Lanka and What I Really Meant. Those are gonna be the believable scripture. And then I'm gonna give you, Cheng Gyur means I'm gonna explain to you 8 different classical proofs for the existence of these 2 extra states of mind. Yeah. So, and those are not just logic; those are Chashib logic.
Those are very particular.
Yeah, very
Fine.
detailed and fine. Okay, he's making a big deal. He could have said Tamo, he could have said Shimo, but he said Chashib, which means detail. Okay, Chashib ki Rigpa Nam. To it, so that you can kong the chu, going to the end of the paragraph, so that you can comprehend that there do exist nam rigbe kam dir.
In this instance,
Context, yeah.
various.
Nam rig.
Types of logic.
Oh, Namrik was the.
Yeah, nice.
mind-only school,
Mentalists.
the Conceptualists.
Yeah, okay, the mentalist. It's a nickname for mind-only school. It's called the awarenessers. Okay, nam rigbe. But our author, Rigbe Realty, Sword of Logic, he wants to pinpoint what kind of mind-only school, what section within the mind-only school accept these quotations and this logic. So he says,
Kamdia?
before that,
Oh.
Lungi Jendang.
Following logic?
Follow scripture. So there's 2 divisions to many schools, like Rangyupa.
Okay, yeah, right.
There's those who follow scripture, and there's those who follow logic. So he's pinpointing which mind-only school followers believe in these scriptural quotations and these logic, and he says the ones who follow scripture, as opposed to
The ones who follow logic.
like, which are supposedly more intelligent.
The logic followers.
Yeah, those who follow logic, not those who follow scripture. Traditionally, they're considered more intelligent. Okay.
He's saying that not only the scripture that he's going to offer, but also the proofs that the logic that he's going to offer are in line with the guy who's.
He seems to be saying that. Yeah. He seems to be saying that. Okay. And we're going to prove that there's a nyunyi and a kunshi, both of which are number shirpas, consciousnesses of the messed up part of the mind and the refrigerated type of the mind, which are tadepa from, which are essentially separate from the Namshe Tsoktuk. Yeah, from the group of, we have to say group now. Okay. There's a couple things here, but I thought you'd like to know, I mean, to make a nice footnote, who is the mind-onlys who follow Scripture? Who are they? Okay, so I went and got you some quotations for that, so you could make a nice footnote about it, okay? Because he takes the trouble to divide out half the mind-only school that believes these logic and these scriptures, but he doesn't identify them. And it would be fun to go identify who is that. Okay, so here we go. Here's Kiribtemba Dagye. I got 3 or 4 quotations for you. You should combine them all into one footnote or something like that. Okay. And I think in one case he identified people. And in another case he identified primary points of difference. Okay. So let's go. Here's yeah, this is his parchin, okay? Okay. Please read.
Yang kachik lungi chinjan ki samsampa namki yentu ki klapme nyangde ki sen hemrik kunche tu tupa mi rikte harlam selje le. Where should I stop this?
I would stop at Shina. Okay.
Klapme tu hemrik kun chendu pa ni yentu depa bashik ki takpa yin she song veche shena.
Yeah, okay. So somebody says, Yang Kachik, those Lungi Jindan Sem Sampas, okay, disciples who followed that, okay, when they reach Nirvana Hlagme,
Without remainder.
yeah, Pemrik Gyunche, you should learn this, Pemrik Gyunche. Pemrik Gyunche. Say, Pemrik Gyunche. Pembo?
Particulate matter.
Yeah, their physical body and their rikpa.
Their mind.
Gyun,
Strange.
the flow discontinuous. So a very famous Abhidharma description of nirvana, without remainder. The sudden stopping of body and mind. And then there's nothing left. Okay, that's lower nirvana. Okay. So Pemri Gyunche, Dapa Mirikte, it's wrong to say that the lower mind only guys would say that. Would you agree?
Yes.
Would a mind only guy who likes scriptures as opposed to logic, would they say that the body and mind just stop? Would they say that?
Depends what scriptures they follow.
Well, here's the debate, okay? Because Tarlam Selje, there's 2 Tarlam Seljes. I don't know which one he's quoting. One is the Abhidharma commentary by the first Dalai Lama. One is Gyaltsab Je's commentary to the Pramanavartika. We can look it up. It says, now here's the other guy. It's still the other guy talking. Those, it's wrong to say that those lower scripture-leaning mind-only guys believe that is nirvana because Tarlam Selje says, go ahead, Lagme tu, when you reach Lagme Nyangde, nirvana without remainder, with nothing left over, Pemrik Yunchet Dubani. Those who believe that your mind stops and your body stops, Nyente Bashik.
Oh, it's just the.
Our one and only.
Just the two lower schools. Just
Our
those
only.
Abhidharma and South Trantica. Okay? Tapayan. What's this tapa mean? We had it in Utpala's text.
Imputed.
Yeah, here it's a criticism. They just made that up. They just talk about it. They just call it that. Okay? So he's the other guy is quoting probably the first Dalai Lama, and he's saying, listen, it says in there, the only people who believe in this kind of nirvana is the lower schools, not mind only. Okay, all right? So he says, you guys shouldn't be talking about the scripture-leaning mind-only school as supporting that idea, because that book says it, they don't. Okay, got it?
It's Kachi.
Go ahead. Yeah, that's kachik, which means it's wrong.
Something
Okay.
wrong, we don't know what.
Yeah, we don't know yet.
Hemi lung chung tema takpar yunte nyen tu tepe takpa bashik yin shepe tuntang chok lamyap se lungi je jendrangi semsampa tarmi shepe bashik. How far shall we this shit? Chair? Che Sunpa Zam Tu Sung Deche.
Good. Here he identifies some particular scripture-leaning mind-onlyers.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's a kind of surprising. So, Deni Long Chung Se Matapangunte. I think we've got the quotation a little bit wrong. Okay, there's some kind of problem with the text. He's blaming the text. Okay, Chung Se Matapa seems like there's a small problem here with the text. Ngun means it appears to be. This ngun means it appears that there's some kind of problem with the text here. Because why? Niente depe tapa pashi yin shepe dandan. The point he's trying to make is that it's just made up by the lower schools, not that they believe it. Okay? It's a belief that was created by the lower schools, which is not to say it's a belief that higher schools wouldn't accept that was created by the lower schools. You got to read the Dakpa differently. You got to read the created differently. Okay? That's all it's saying. It's made up by the lower schools, but he didn't say, the Bashik didn't say only lower schools believe it. Got it? Okay.
This comes from their scriptural basket.
Yeah. Then he identifies, which is why we're in this quotation, so you can have a nice footnote. He identifies who it is that's a scripture-leaning, mind-only guy, and he says, Choglang Yabse.
Master Dignaga and Dharmakirti.
Yeah, who are Adam's school. Adam, you got defectors here. Yeah, okay, these guys are Adam's school. Okay, these guys are Adam's school. So this is kind of shocking. Okay, who's a scripture-leaning mind only?
Satrantica?
Yeah, Dignaga and Dharmakirti, who are second school. 'Cause that's weird. Okay, got it? You should be going, wow, I guess I can't believe it. Okay. Okay. Huh?
Isn't just another way of looking at the same thing? You're a mind only who believes some of
If you're a scripture-leaning mind only, are you a sutrist?
I mean,
That's-
Kappa says this about them in the opening of Lexi Nemo.
Does it? I don't remember.
Yeah.
That's too long ago. Okay. Lungi janaga semtapatar mishepe bashik che. So the word only or just is that they don't accept it in the same way that the lower mind-only guys do. But anyway, all I wanted to do was identify who it was. So here, according to Chittamatra Darge, scripture-leaning mind-only guys are Dignaga and Dharmakirti. Whoa. Now, I mean, if you're interested, we don't have to go deeper in this. But I'm kind of curious to see if they would say that. Would they say? You want to go? You want to keep going? It's your text that will be delayed to 2027.
Are we
In this quote.
yeah,
Let's keep going. Okay, go.
And is Chittamatra making that claim, or is he quoting somebody else making that?
Here we go. Here we go.
Choklang yapse ni nien tu ki kapne nyangde ki tse pemri dun che tu mi shete.
Yeah. You can translate this.
Both Master Dignaga and his son Dharmakirti accept,
Mishe.
do not accept,
Yeah.
do not accept that the lower schools, nirvana without remainder, they do not accept the discontinuation of mind and body, which is the lower nirvana of the nirvana of the lower school without remainder.
The question here is, how do you read niente? You see, do you say lower two schools, or does it mean when a person on a lower track achieves nirvana?
Right.
And I'm guessing the second.
Really?
Okay, so they would say when a person on a lower track achieves nirvana, it's not the case that their body and mind just stop. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, they would not agree. Okay. Then he goes on. I don't know. You want to do that?
No.
I mean, if they make that,
It's too much.
I think we got the point.
Okay, now I'm going to go to another.
they make it pretty tidy though. I mean, if they make that distinction against the idea of Pemric Rinche, doesn't that sort of de facto make them leaning Mahayana?
Yeah. Yeah, okay, well, I'm just gotta skim through this one, okay? This is by Jamyon Shepe Dorje, who's a good source. And he says there are schools which do believe that your mind discontinues. Then he quotes a sutra. You want to translate it for fun?
Sure.
Marme Shiwa Gyur.
Marme, that's Atisha?
Close. The
Oh.
butter lamp.
Oh, when a butter lamp is extinguished.
Yeah, when the butter lamp goes out. Kana Lushe Dushe Ga. Their mind, their body and their discrimination stop.
Stop.
All their tsorwa chel.
All their feelings are
Lost.
separated.
Yeah. And the duches, Nyorishi,
And
other factors.
all the other factors.
He's going through the 5 heaps.
Yeah.
They all stop.
Peace,
And the consciousness stops.
and that
Okay.
consciousness goes into decline.
Yeah. So here we go. Go read this part.
Diyang rikpe chechang dote ba tak ki mirlengi pungpo nga gat su la dunte de shindu lungi chechang nyanjor chupa tak kyang dupech.
Explain. Translate.
Here, we also say that we also like to talk about those who follow logic. And
Who follows logic?
Sautrantikas who
Yeah,
follow logic.
school tours who follow logic. School tours who follow logic. And they say that is the gaktul for the pumbunga.
That is the method of stopping the
Yeah.
5 heaps.
That's how the 5 heats stop. Just like that sutra said. It's like a butter lamp just dies. All 5 heaps. So the smarter school 2 guys who follow logic, they believe that, and they shindu.
And the practitioners, the
Yeah.
mind-onlyers, the
Good.
yogacharyas that follow scripture,
Yeah.
just like the those
They also believe the same thing.
Yeah.
He's equating smart school tours and dumb school 3-years. Okay, got it?
Yeah.
The guys in the third school who just look at what the book says believe that the mind and body just snuff out. And the guys in the second school who follow logic and not scripture also believe the same thing.
Which would make sense why Master Dignaga and Dharmakirti are being considered lower school 3-years,
Yeah.
higher school 2-ers.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's what I want you to appreciate. And we're going to come to that in someone's text today.
Maybe it's later.
Oh, there's going to be this beautiful discussion of standing on the shoulders of the previous generation. And there's kind of overlap. You know, I forget whose text it is. It is your text, I think. Okay. Okay, so anyway, I just wanted you to get that point. Let's keep going. I found a subquote, which is really out of the. Okay, let's skip that. Here's another subquote that you don't need. That was last term. Okay. Here's a nice one. Okay, here's Kedub Jimbadarge, who's a Ganden textbook writer. Okay, here we go. Go ahead.
Sensampala yang nyam den sun ni le sensam nam den pa tang lungi chechangi sensampa tun chik ching nam den be hartuk tekwa sun tu drupar de duba yente de shiwa drupa chikpui nentu sangmi gewar dupeche.
Okay, here's a slight difference between the two. The mind-only schoolers can be divided into those who believe in a true aspect and a false aspect. Okay, the true aspect mind-only guys and the mind-only guys who follow scripture are the same. And these guys who say there's a true aspect, they say ultimately there are 3 tracks. Okay, which is not the position of the higher schools. Okay, the higher schools say ultimately you end up on the Mahayana track. It's all one path. It's all one path. In the end, it's all Tartu Terpachik. It's all one path in the end. Okay, but these guys believe they have some special what do you call it? Claim on what's correct, and you have to go their way. There has to be 3 different schools. So anyway, there's another distinction between the two. And just one more sentence, okay? It's enough for a footnote, right? Here we go. One more sentence. This is from Kidutam Dagi. Okay. Niente.
Niente de mi tang lungi Changi Samsapa Nam Tartuk Tekot Sun Tu Drup Pandu Chijaktu Mawa Nam Tartuk Tekot Sun Tu Te.
That's enough. Niente de pani.
The 2 types of listeners. Or
The 2 lower
collections.
schools.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Abhidharma and South Trantika. And he throws in the lower third schoolers. He throws them in with the first 2 schools. They believe Tatu Tekpasum.
That ultimately there's 3 tracks.
Yeah. And by the way, the Chittamatra Mawas also believe Tatu Tekpasum.
The detailists also believe that 3-track thing.
Yeah, so he's kind of insulting the
Lungi.
Lungi Jendange Semsampas. Okay. I think we overkilled it.
Yes, it is quite dead.
Okay, well, anyway, what can we say? What did we learn about why did your author add the word Lungi Jandang to his Semsampas?
Because there is a distinction between Lungi Janjangbas and Rikki Janjangbas
Yeah.
such that it does matter what their belief system is.
Yeah. So he's saying the people who mostly accept these proofs for these two consciousnesses are the lower, the ones that come from scripture. They look at scripture. If Buddha said it in a scripture that there's these two extra consciousnesses, it must be literal. It must be literal. That's all. He's just saying there's two kinds of mind-only guys, and when we're descending into quotations to prove these two, and obviously the people who favor that approach are going to be the lower mind-only guys who like books rather than thinking.
Which makes sense because
Okay.
sutras-
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense that they would emphasize the mentions in the Journey to Lanka and in the what I really meant of mind-only ideas of these two consciousness. It makes sense that they would support that. Okay, we killed it.
네.
Go ahead.
이글라니 군시탕 윤이 죽제도.
Now, he just finished a section and he's moving on to another section. I'd offer you $50, but you could probably figure it out.
Well, he just did the advices part.
Good. Perfect. He says, look, we just finished Tsongkhapa saying, look, go look, be curious. And now Tsongkhapa's going to
It's gonna give,
quote him.
yeah.
Here are the quotations, and here are the proofs, okay? So I told you should do it, and now I'm going to help you do it. Okay, got it? And he's going to divide it into two.
Yes. 군시 and 윤이.
Yeah, let's prove number 8, and then let's prove number 7. Okay? Okay. All right, go.
년조 축대 숑룩니.
Wait. This part.
Oh, okay. 땅볼라니 르바탕 룽기 죽제도.
Yeah, first we're going to do the proofs.
The two of logic and script.
First proofs, then quotations.
First,
We thought he was going to go the other way, but anyway, he's going to do the proofs first and then the quotations. Now you can read the verse.
Okay. 년조 축대 숑룩니 죽제 르바타 예바 숭향 렌탕 탕포 셀 사벤 레탕 루솔탕 뇽쪽 치호 미롱와 게두 칠디 셰자.
Yeah, good. So that we're in the first part, which is classical proofs, given by the scripture-leaning mind-only guys to prove the existence of kunshi. So these are 8 proofs. We go to proofs first, we go to quotations second. And there are 8. There are 8 classical proofs. And they are all phrased, listen, they are all phrased in terms of if there were no kunshi, this would not be possible. Okay, for example, the first one is Kiewa Len.
you wouldn't take another birth.
Who takes birth if there's no number 8? Because the 6 are gone. If there's no extra consciousness, who takes birth? What goes across the 2 births? You know, there got to be some foundation consciousness that, therefore, so all of these 8 are phrased in the negative. You see, if there were no kunshi, this would be impossible, this would be impossible, this would be impossible, okay?
Sounds very
Excuse me?
sounds very personified.
Yeah, it is. It is. I hate to say it. Now, these 8, Rick Bajoti covers them lightly. Then I found a really good treatment by Ngawang Pelden, the great Mongol scholar, Chujing Ngawang Pelden, which I would say is second level. So first level, Rick Bajoti, he treats it in a sort of a cursory way. I wanted more, so I found Ngawang Pelden did a great job, which he always does. And then I was curious to see what Tsongkhapa said in his own text, and he nails it. So I think it'd be a nice appendix to throw in Ngawam Pelden's explanation, because it's a bridge between the two. So if you don't mind, it's going to be this term. I mean, it's going to take the whole term. But they're beautiful, and it's going to make your book really special. Otherwise, these 8 are hard. These 8 are really hard. And each author has a different insight into them. So that's my proposed strategy. But it's going to take some time, okay? So if you're amenable, Mr. Smith, okay. All right, so let's translate this verse
Okay.
before we go to the 8. And I numbered the 8 for you, okay? Here we go. Neonzer Chupe Shung, Luke.
From the main scripture.
Yeah,
the arbitrary.
Yeah, the text of the Yogacharyas.
Yeah, sometimes I would say the scriptural tradition.
Oh, sure.
From the scriptural tradition of the mind-only school,
Mhm.
there are Tayepa Drupjes. Yeah,
They're
infinite
endless.
infinite number of arguments in favor of Kunshi, Alaya Vijnana. There are countless arguments. But, then let's go to the end.
But,
Gay de du.
but I have time for 8.
I'm going to just group them into 8 for you.
Abbreviate.
I'm going to explain them to you. Who's I?
Just Tsongkhapa.
Yeah, Tsongkhapa says, look, I'm just going to put them all into 8 for you. I mean, there's a billion, but let's focus on 8, okay? And then he gives you these 8, okay? Let's do the wording of the 8, because it's code. It's in code. It doesn't make sense, okay? First one is taking, which is kiwalin, okay? I'll give you the first one for free.
Thank you.
Second one,
First.
it just says
The
first.
second one is first.
Exactly. The third one is,
Clear.
yeah. The fourth one is,
See.
fifth one is,
Karma.
sixth is
Body feeling.
bodily feeling. 7,
Uninterrupted.
deep meditation. And chipo
Dying and passing.
Going to the next
Yeah.
bed.
It's not suitable.
would be mirunga.
Not unsuitable.
They couldn't happen, meaning all 8.
Yeah.
The mirunga distributes to the all 8. You couldn't have birth. You couldn't have first. You couldn't have clarity. You couldn't have seeds. You couldn't have karma. You couldn't have bodily feeling. You couldn't have meditation. And you couldn't have dying and moving on. If there was no kunshi. Okay, got it?
Yeah.
Cool.
The last one was
Some of them are clear. Some of them are mysterious so far. Okay, here we go.
How much time do we have left?
5 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
당분이 내년절기.
Can I interrupt you? Which I obviously will. I forgot to mention something in the last one. Up here. Those are your notes, okay? It's only about 8 pages. Okay, here. Don't ignore this comment.
Yeah, we read across the lines, right?
Ignore commas, yeah. Now, your author did something which I've never seen anyone do before. You know, the root text says, for example, Namshe Dule Tadepe.
Yeah.
Then he put Namshe Cho Dugle Ngo Tadepe, but he retained the poetry markers in the middle of prose.
Glossing. Yeah.
He retained the poetry markers, which is very confusing if you don't know what the heck he's doing. So I'm just warning you.
Yeah.
You're going to drop all those poetry markers. These double commas, you're going to drop them when you translate it. He's just being cute. He wants you to notice he wove in the root text. Look, we noticed already. You don't have to put the commas from the poetry in there, okay? But just be aware because it messes you up. It's going to mess you up when you translate, okay? It's there for no reason, and it's very, I've never seen anyone do it before. It's kind of cute, but it's hard on English translators. Okay, he does it here again too. Okay, here we go.
당분이 내년절기 사시 고네 추파 남렌 Tena Beppa.
Nice Beppa. You got a nice Beppa. Your prenasals are hot today.
Thank you, Bishop. Sensampe Shungo Tek Du Sokne Kunshi Tan Nyuni Drupje Ki Ripa Tayepa Sunkyan Kunshi Drupje Ki Ne Duna.
Good. Okay. How much time we have?
3 minutes.
Okay. I'm just gonna hit on this. Okay. See Sashi.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's this famous book, Yogacara Bhumi, right? Asanga, which would be Sagji.
Ah.
So I got stuck on this for like a day.
But is this the fourth level? The fourth?
This is called the 4 levels of yogic practice. This says the 4 levels of yogic practice. It does not say the levels of yogic practice. You see, I didn't notice the B for like 2 hours. Okay? It's not a reference to the text, Yogacara Bhumi. It's the reference to the 4 levels of yogic practice.
Meaning 4 levels of Tantra.
No, it's a very, very beautiful presentation of 4 levels of yogic insight based on 4 flavors of emptiness from our 6 flavors of emptiness.
That's so
And it's super sexy. And then I realized that's why he called his book Yogacara Bhumi. You see, it's 4 levels of yogic practice. It doesn't have anything to do with the 10 bodhisattva levels. Nothing. It's 4 yogic levels, which are defined by which emptiness do you see. And it's kind of a precursor to the 6 flavors that we invented later. It's 4 flavors. So really, it's Buddhist practice based on 4 levels of emptiness is the definition of Yogacara Bhumi.
cool.
It's very cool. It's very, very cool. So you've got four tiny words here. And here's your footnote.
Ah.
You see?
16.
And there are all kinds of emptiness. See, here's yogic level number 1. And it's all different levels of emptiness. And I'm not going to make you translate the whole thing, but I thought, why don't we tie down the 4 to the 4 flavors of emptiness? Because and apparently that's the guts of Asanga's most famous book, and I never realized it, okay? So that's where we'll go next. We'll go to 4 flavors of emptiness that define the 4, yeah, it's kind of amazing. Yeah, and it's kind of exactly what we did 20 years ago. And it's cool. It's just really cool. So I don't know, I was excited about it. Okay, so stop here. It's going to make a nice footnote for that single B as opposed to G. You see, if it had been G, I would have just gone on. But he's defining the mind-only school in a way by 4 kinds of emptiness, which is really sexy. Stopped here. Cinco de Mayo. And then it goes on to the subject, which is the 8 proofs for Kunshi, which are, some of them are obvious, and some of them are nasty. Okay. All right. Puki Joshi Meto Tam Rira Binshi Ninde Kempadi Sangye Shindu Mikte Uwagi Rakunanda Shingla Chipasho Idam Guru Rata Mandala Kamya Tayami Kyokan Sunam Yeshe Totsoshi Sunam Yeshe Lechuhe Tampa Kuni Topasho Shogadi Shmokadi. What's next?